Hello everybody, Adam Clery from FourFourTwo here, and Brighton, they've just signed Valentin Barco. He's a precociously talented young player with a very exciting future ahead of him, plucked for relative peanuts from one of the less popular divisions for Premier League clubs to shop in. He's technically excellent, he's brilliant on the ball, and at Brighton he could very easily develop into the sort of player that the quote-unquote big clubs will have their eyes absolutely taken out for in a couple of years' time. And where have we seen that before? Does that sound familiar yet? Obviously, there's nothing guaranteed in this life, but I think Brighton have done it again. Alright, so, Valentin Barco, who is he and what does he do? Well, he is a 19-year-old Argentine left-back who looks a little bit to me like a younger version of the guy who played Rorschach in Watchmen, and he has been described as one of Argentina's brightest talents. He broke into the Boca side in their left-back position, but has now been moved further up the pitch and plays on the left-hand side of a diamond. Now, he will still play in this left-back position here when the situation demands it, but the reason they've got him here is so he can move into the middle or he can push up down the left-hand side, because he's just that good. With all due respect to fullbacks, and I say that because my father was one, it would be a waste of his ability to exclusively play him here. And what I mean by that is, good God almighty, look at these attacking statistics for the Argentine league. Now, the way these graphs from FBref work is they are comparative to all the other players in that division, so entirely up to you how impressive you find comparative stats from the Argentine First Division. But for me, personally, I would say quite impressive, but that's a personal call. Comparative to all the other fullbacks in the division, his output from an attacking and a creative sense is phenomenal. And genuinely, when you look at all his stats, it's like a firework display at an orgy. You've just got no idea where to look. I think for me, though, the thing that jumps out is his take-on numbers, like his ability on the ball to just glide past players, the confidence to take other defenders on, even at 19, is... whoa. The kid is in the top 1% for the total number of take-ons he does in a game, which is amazing. He's in the top 1% for the number of those that are successful, so he's really good at it as well as being really confident. He's in the top 1% for the number of chances created by doing a take-on, so like getting past somebody and putting a teammate in. He's in the top 3% for the number of goals created that way. So you would argue someone on his team has missed a sitter somewhere, and if they hadn't, he'd be in the top 1% for that as well. That's really good. Now, if you haven't had the particular pleasure of randomly finding a Copa Libertadores game on the BBC Red Button when you've been trying to catch up on the traitors, let me tell you, the boy can play. Like, yes, those take-on numbers look impressive because they're comparative to defenders, and a lot of players in the division won't be even attempting to do what he's doing. But when you actually watch him in real time, he has the ability and the determination and the technique and the confidence of a genuine wide attacker. Like, just to show you I'm doing my job properly here are all his take-on numbers, and here are some of the best taker honors in the Argentine division. Now, they're all attacking wide players, so they do it more than he does, so their numbers for totals are slightly higher. Remember, he's playing sort of slightly deeper in this diamond or sometimes at left back, but their conversion rate, the amount of times they successfully do it, are pretty much the same. If we also look at his numbers in regards to how he passes the ball, you'll see that not only is he still a really good chance creator in that regard, but he's incredibly forward thinking. He looks to play forward and to play dangerous passes whenever possible. Progressive passes, and if you've been watching this channel for a while, I'm sorry, this must be the 100th time you've heard me bang on about them. They're not backwards, they're not sideways, they're a pass that helps you progress the team up the pitch. He loves those. Passes into the final third, passes into the box. If the kid can see a way to make something happen, to advance the attack, he always does it. This is the best one, though. He's in the top 1% for defenders playing through balls. And I'll tell you why I really like that stat, okay? Because I love through balls. Because if you think about it, right, the definition of a through ball is any pass that goes between two defenders into the open space behind them, right? And in order to do that, you have to, like, travel to the future. Yeah, admittedly, that does sound a bit weird, but your teammates cannot physically stand in the open space behind defenders. They would be offside. They can't even stand near the open space behind defenders because they get well marked. So if you play a through ball, you are passing the ball into a future which does not yet exist. Nobody is there, nobody is likely to get there, but you still put it there because you know what's going to happen. You only tend to see them from a particular kind of player. Someone who, A, has incredible reading of the game because they're effectively putting the ball into a situation which does not exist yet, but also, B, or two, whichever I said first, someone with just genuine confidence and self-belief in their own ability, because you are giving the ball away. Unless exactly what you think happens, you have just passed that back to the goalkeeper normally. And at just 19 years of old, which is not an expression, but you do know what I mean, Valentin Barco plays more through balls than any other defender in the entire Argentine First Division. Is that a small thing? Well, yes, but I'll tell you what it also is, right? Incredibly Brighton. This is just a player who believes absolutely in his ability to go and be one of the best footballers in the entire world. And that's evidenced in the way he takes his opponents on and how easily he goes past them. It's evidenced in the kind of passes he likes to make in a game of football. It's evidenced in the fact they brought him in at left back, but now play him as close to the centre of the pitch as possible because he's got the ability to influence a game. He's absolutely fantastic on set pieces as well, and he's become Boca's go-to player this season for all their dead ball situations. And even there, you can see his level of confidence. Like, the kid tried to score from a corner this season and very nearly did it. He got to take Boca's deciding penalty in a cup shootout, and he just nonchalantly steps up and side foots in. Not an ounce of just pressure or worry or doubt or anything. He believed he was going to score that. And you can even sort of see that in his heat map from this season. Because, like, on the one hand, yeah, you can see that he's playing, like, on the left-hand side, slightly further up, but is also sort of involved in some defensive duties. But just look at the splatterings all over the pitch of where he just randomly pops up. He's on the right-hand side all the time. He drifts into the middle. He gets into the box. Players don't do that at 19. They tend to do what they're told because there are senior players in that side and there's a way of doing things and you don't want to put anyone's nose out of joint and you just want to show that you can be a part of that side. He doesn't care. He is that side. But now, the other side of this, because with extreme confidence at 19 years of age, naturally comes some downside. Now, yes, absolutely, the main reason Boca have started to play him slightly further up the pitch is so he can influence the game better because he's got the ability to do so, but it is also because he would occasionally get caught out at left back because of his attacking instincts. Teams would quite regularly target the space in behind him, and while he does work back very hard off the ball when those situations develop, at 19, his physicality just isn't there. He's not naturally the quickest and his body's still got a lot of developing to do, so it wasn't very easy for him to recover those situations. And then, of course, there was the standing on the ball incident in that semi-final. A lot of people, they really liked that. They were like, ha, what a little trickster, look at him go. But some other people, a lot of other people were like, what are you doing, you div? Now, the big question though, if you're a Brighton fan, will he play? And when will he play? Well, genuinely, I would say right now it's 50-50. Like, Brighton do like to bring these players in and send them immediately back out on loan, sometimes to their home division to help them develop a little bit better, and then bring them in when they're comfortable that they've done that. But also, sometimes they don't. And literally this time last year, they brought a youngster in from the Argentine First Division, and he was playing almost immediately. Now, of course, Brighton have had an injury crisis, but that is abating, which is a word I think is literally only used to describe injury crises. Abating, so there's not the urgent need to desperately bring somebody in to fill a space in the squad, but also, he is really good. Now, if you want my opinion, and I mean, you've made it this far in the video, why the hell not? I don't think he will, because those aforementioned physical disadvantages would be a really big problem in the Premier League, I think. I reckon he'll be back out on loan. But also, they've got a European campaign to contend to. There's no reason you couldn't just get him in and use him sparingly. I think he might play. Did I genuinely just say I don't think he's going to play, and then I think he's going to play in the same bit? Great work, me. I'm really good at this. Right, now I know when people think it's the end of the video, they click off and they go do something else. Just sit down for a second. I've got something really exciting to tell you. We were on location yesterday. Can't tell you where yet, doing our biggest ever interview, although I can't tell you who with yet, and we are just genuinely so excited to put this video out eventually. So if you've ever considered subscribing to us here on FourFourTwo, we would genuinely really appreciate that, because we are currently on trajectory to have our best ever month for subscribers, and it would blow my tiny pea brain if we could do that in January. So legitimately, it does massively help out the channel, and if you've been giving it any thought and looking for a sign to do it, Here it is. Actually, shout out to friend of the channel, Carl Langdale, by the way, who helped us with some golden nuggets of info for the research for this video, because the guy just watches loads and loads of Boca. If you ever see him, buy him a mojito. That's it, though. That's all I've got. New magazine's out. It's really, really good. You should go buy it. That's Alex Ferguson on the cover. Get me on Twitter at Adam Clery, Clery, 442 socials in the corner. And this... they've just done it again, Brighton. They are playing Football Manager. They're not playing real football. They're just going Wonder Kid shopping. And in a fair and just world, they would win the league every season, I think. That's the end of the video. Goodbye.